Hello. You've reached Any Given Thursday Incorporated. This is Kevin.
And Rob.
Please leave your message after the beep.
I love that we're incorporated now.
Yeah, we're incorporated. We're LLC maybe. I should have went LLC.
Should have went LLC.
Yeah, limited liability. Yeah, no, it did way better.
Way better.
Oh, we fucked up. Do it over. So that intro had nothing to do with the topic is today. It's just the first thing that came to my mind. So I had to sit with it.
You give me shit for cheesy intros, but I liked it.
Yeah,
and I liked it, so it was definitely bad.
Right. Exactly. So, Rob.
Yeah.
I had this idea, right?
Oh, no.
I had this idea.
That's never good.
And I thought about it for a bit. I sat on it. I stewed, as they say.
Ooh, with it underneath you?
What? No.
You sat on it, it stewed.
I don't get it, but okay.
Okay, fine.
But yeah, no, I stewed, souped for a bit even.
Mm-hmm.
Why stewed and not souped? That's not the topic, but a different day. Write that down. Write that down. So I was thinking about nerd fandoms.
Oh.
Yeah. And I thought about it for a bit. I'm like, we could talk about like different nerd fandoms. We could talk about, different questions around them. Really getting into things. And then as, the day went on, I started thinking to myself, wow, this episode could potentially piss off a lot of people.
Oh, no. Wait, what? That's not where I thought you were going.
Yeah, this is potentially going to piss off a lot of people based on how my brain is working things right now.
Oh, okay. I mean...
And that excited me more.
Of course it did.
And made me want to do this even more. So, my...
Episode 10, time to lose our last fan.
Hell yeah. My quandary to you, Sir Roberto.
Mm-hmm.
What do you believe is the most toxic nerd fandom?
Oh, God.
Yeah. Yeah, that was what was on my brain today. And again, like I think there's some parameters here.
Okay.
I think we can go into defining what we consider nerd fandoms, defining what makes them toxic.
Because toxic is really hard.
Right.
Like, toxic is in other people hate them for it, or like they as a group are uninviting and angry.
It could be both. It could be both. My brain went to the latter, is that like I went to the group that is exclusive, the group that is, they try and take like ownership of the material in a sense.
Okay.
Like they take it into their own hands.
Sure.
And then they have like this superiority complex over new fans who try to come in and interact with it.
Okay.
So,
I can see immediately. I keep trying to go to music in my head because
Okay.
that happens a lot with bands.
Yes.
Bands are the easiest one where that's like, how dare you?
Yes.
I've done it, kind of. But a little.
Not to the level.
No.
Not to the level, but Rob, we've all had a like, oh, I was listening to these guys before they were cool moment.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you just found them now? Like, where have you been the last 3 years?
Freaking posers.
Like, no, we've all had that sort of moment. And I think...
We all in this room.
we, the two of us, have both done that before. For shit and sure. But like, I don't know, I did not think music immediately because I think it's the low hanging fruit. I'll be honest with you.
No.
Not to
Well, no. I was just
shit
trying
on
to.
you, but...
Well, no. I was trying to say that because I was like, okay, I gotta get out of music. What are uninviting game groups?
Yes, and I'm thinking like, yeah, maybe, potentially. What are your traditional nerd fandoms? Like, are we thinking like...
Well, we weren't a lot. So if I were to just start spitting here, I know that amongst the two of us, I'm going to throw wrestling in there, even though it's not a game.
100%.
Pokemon, Magic, D&D, which anyway, hold on, we're gonna keep listing.
We keep going.
Let me try and think of some video games. I think movies also work.
Yeah, television shows. Because I mean, I think of like Star Trek, Doctor Who.
Yeah,
like,
actually,
you know
one of the
I mean?
first ones you said, and I thought of was Trekkies.
Yeah,
But I don't know if I can actually think of a toxic Trekkie. So like, I've never tried to enter it, but that was for some reason something that came to mind.
Yeah,
And maybe that was unjustified.
I have not watched enough Star Trek to consider myself a Trekkie.
Yeah, I've watched next to none. I've seen a couple movies.
Yeah, like saw the movies, watched some of it, with my
1 or 2 episodes.
My dad and my uncle growing up, the films mostly.
Yeah.
I've been watching some of the more recent stuff. Mm-hmm. So I watched Discovery that's coming out on what's it? Paramount, I think, is doing it.
Oh yeah.
So I watched Discovery. I got through 3 of the seasons. There's one more.
Wow.
Yeah, I was watching. Well, I watched it when I had COVID, so like it was
time to binge.
It's kind of like, well, what else am I going to do with my time? I might as well watch a show.
Yeah.
So yeah, I watched most of that. I got one more season of that, and they're coming out. They're releasing a different one, a newer one that's also based on the past.
Okay.
So I've been getting more involved in the more recent ones.
Gotcha.
But again, I've never met. I don't really know anyone who was a Trekkie or who identified as a Trekkie.
I don't think I do.
So I don't know if it's fair to.
I don't think that they're
judge the fan base,
Right. Yeah.
But there's some. I mean, there's some fan bases where it's very.
No. Yes. Okay. So
very obvious.
So.
Yeah, we got TV. We got some TV shows. We got some games. We got.
Let me try and. Okay. So also. I'm in the Marvel fandom to some degree.
Yeah. Comic books. That was another one that came to mind.
But I don't even think... I think comic books is too broad.
Okay.
Because there is definitely a division of sorts.
Sure.
You got the Marvels.
Yeah.
You got the DCs.
Yeah.
Some overlap, but it's odd that they don't a lot. And I think there's some who are like, hey, I only read indie comics.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. And then I would also posit the theory to separate Marvel Comics nerds from MCU nerds.
Oh no, yeah, no,
because that's
not.
I mean, it's a total right. It's not the same thing. And the people who like the movies, I'm sure there's crossover. I mean, Rob, there's crossover.
Yeah, I have crossover, but it's not like an immediate both.
Right.
Because there are some who like the comics who I don't know about hate. I think a lot of them are just really excited to see it on screen.
Okay. And it doesn't follow their expectations of the character that they've been following for years.
They get upset sometimes. I'm not going to say they don't, but I feel like generally people are happy for it.
Okay.
Like when Guardians of the Galaxy hit, I know the Guardians of the Galaxy fans were like over the moon.
Cool.
Because it was obscure. And it was like, oh my god, they aren't the real team. But oh my god.
Naturally, of course.
Alright, so let me just throw out. I feel like.
Oh, sorry. Interrupting.
Yeah.
Buffy as well, I think is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay. Just have to put
I've
that
never
out
met
there.
another one, but it's out there somewhere.
Oh, it's 100% out there. Yeah. Like that is. That's a huge fandom that we just don't have connections to.
Yeah.
But like we probably should at this point.
Right, we're like the outsiders looking in. Like I want to be a part of the fandom.
Maybe that makes it the most toxic one
by
proxy because it's not inviting.
I think it's more so we're like 20 years past the boat. We got a telescope looking from shore, and we're like, oh hey, look, they're having fun.
Oh, that's cool. Or like Firefly. Now I'm just naming television shows.
I know.
That's what this has become.
All right, okay, hold on though. So I think that the Pokemon community without claws is inviting.
Okay, what do you mean?
I feel like the barrier to entry is not that difficult.
Okay.
It's easy to branch out into different things.
Okay.
And there's not a lot of really hard stances.
I'm going to disagree with you.
I had a feeling, because I know you're really involved with this one, but compared to others, I feel like it is a rather accepting fandom that is somewhat easy to get into.
I am very involved on one side of the fandom. I'm only very involved on the gaming side. I am not very involved on the trading card side.
Okay.
And I feel like maybe it's me, looking across at the other, and that's what gives me this opinion.
Okay.
But I feel like the trading card side of things is slightly more toxic than the video game side of things.
I disagree strongly.
Really?
Any tabletop store I have ever walked into has tried to get me into Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
Like, without hesitation, like, hey, man, these are way cheaper than those Magic cards you're spending money on.
Yeah.
You get way more bang for your buck. We're just looking for players.
Okay, so okay. Yeah, it's definitely smaller. And so, naturally, they'd be seeking people, but I don't think...
so, again, I haven't played a lot. So,
Sure.
Again, barrier to entry version of Toxic, I don't think is quite there.
Sure.
I've never tried to play with them.
Neither have I.
So, I can't speak to that.
Fair. Again, and this is me, coming from the video game side of things, which I don't think I've ever mentioned on here, but like I've speed ran Pokemon games before. Like I've done a couple speed runs of Pokemon Crystal, and
he's okay, I guess.
I tried doing Pokemon Emerald. I'm not good, but I do it for fun.
You were ranked like what, 13?
No, not that high. It was like
wide.
No. I think it was like 20 something.
I thought you got higher, but fine.
No, I don't think it was that good. But so I'm coming at this from the video games are incredibly open. Like there's a reason they're marketed to children because they want to get as many people playing them as possible. So I don't think that side of the fan base is toxic at all. Mm-hmm. But as a big member of it, I mean, most of the media that I consume is Pokemon related, be it watching other people speedrun the game, me myself playing any of the games, just watching random theory videos of the Pokemon universe.
But so that's what I mean though, is there's so much content that is geared to younger but still friendly enough to older that I think that it is on the lesser side of the scale.
That's fair. So we're ranking now.
I'm not trying to rank, but I'm trying to think of like fandoms that we would think of, and then say, okay, I'm just trying to eliminate them so we don't we're not honing in on them. Like, okay, Pokemon is there. I'd say they're fairly
safe.
Pretty safe.
Okay, I would agree with you that they're pretty safe. We're not ranking them. I'm about to rank them.
Okay.
I was just going to say, it's an indirect ranking.
Okay.
But compared to Magic.
I was thinking about Magic, and at first, I wanted to say it wasn't toxic.
No, you can't say that.
I know that.
Because there are members of the Magic community that are real shitty people that try and prevent other people from enjoying the game. So I don't know if I ever told you this story. I went to the card club at UConn once.
I don't think you did tell me this actually, which is shocking with the amount of hours we have in Magic.
I know. So I went there once. I think it was
Magic the Gathering, by the way. We're not
magicians.
Magicians.
No. That's a totally different nerd fandom that I know nothing about.
Different.
Know nothing about that one either.
Yeah, no, nothing.
Probably
toxic.
Oh, very yeah. No, that's definitely the
most
toxic
entry.
of all.
They don't even tell you how they do stuff.
Yeah. God. But so I went one time to the card club at UConn.
Okay.
And I didn't have any of my cards on me, so I went down to the store ahead of time. I got a pre-con. And I showed up and I played a couple games, a whole bunch of different people.
Sure.
And they all had like these massive tricked out decks and they stomped me.
Ooh.
Like just absolutely destroyed. I had no chance whatsoever. Which, I mean, it makes sense. Like they had tuned decks and I just showed up with a pre-con. But like, as someone who is trying to enter into that space,
you'd think they'd be a little bit more... And I think what made me think of it is there's really two different Magic scenes.
Yes.
Well, maybe three. So there's competitive.
Yep.
And casual are the two nice big divisions.
Yeah.
Within each of them, you can find toxic people for shit and sure.
Oh, absolutely. But does...
So, but I think, but even... So, like, for instance, we've talked to our good buddy Cole, who says that, like, the Legacy group, which, in my mind, has a huge barrier to entry due to cost.
Absolutely.
And trying to get the cards.
Yep.
Has mentioned that some people just want to play and will give you cards. Now, he might have just had friendlier experiences.
Sure. Hey, who knows, really?
I mean...
He's our only, data point. Yeah.
Yeah. We've never really tried.
No.
I've never tried at all. You've gone to an event before, which is more than me. I've been afraid to leave our meta.
Well, it wasn't... I wouldn't even call it an event. It was just a
group thing. Yeah, it'll be fun.
I didn't go to FNM or whatever,
Yeah.
Not showing up on Friday nights and drafting with the boys.
But, yeah, I guess. I don't know. I guess at this point I just want to play because it's been a while. So
yeah.
I'm willing to, like, play really weak decks and just play.
Just to do it?
Just to do it would be nice, yeah.
Yeah, and it's, like... So, I mean, I'm of the mindset, like... Backtrack.
No, you're
good. The people that I was playing against, they were of the mindset that by beating you with my really good deck, you're gonna go out, make something better, and then come back and beat me. That was their mindset. That was one of the guys told me, actually, like flat up. He was like, yeah, but like next time...
You're so impressed by this combo I killed you with things you'll never understand.
It was elves. It was an elves guy. Yeah, it was gross. And he was like, yeah, but now you're going to go away, you're going to make something better, you'll come back and you'll beat me, right? And I said, sure, that's what's going to happen. Never showed up again.
Yeah, just spend a few $1,000s and find something that can somehow deal with elves without it being also super oppressive.
Right. Like... So, again, and I was one person.
Sure.
But if that's the mindset, it makes me think it's a pretty toxic community.
Sometimes beating newbies into the ground is not the best way to get them to want to do something.
No, it's not. You want to,
And
I don't know. There's some people
who argue that to the ground.
Oh, sure. I'm sure there's a bunch of people that have the exact opposite opinion of us. Exact opposite opinion.
Yeah.
They're like, no. I will do that. Like if you kick my ass, I will come back harder and stronger, and I will absolutely destroy you.
And maybe in certain instances, but like for a game you're trying to learn to play and see what it's like, I feel like you gotta let them get a taste and then take it away.
Exactly. you show them what it could be, and then crush their dreams. I think it's probably more fun that way, because then you have potentially converted someone to a lifer, and then you can continue to crush them until they get better. So it's like, which is more toxic?
That's a little...
Yikes. Hold on a second.
Are you gaslighting new Magic the Gathering players?
No. I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, there are new players who could come in with just like a meta deck too. Like there are people out there that will just like build, an Uro deck, and they'll show up at a random table, and you will just win.
I don't understand why everybody hates me.
I didn't say that. There's a reason I only play that like once. When we meet together.
That's why I don't play Eldrazi or Goblins all the time.
Right. You will get, I want a good game out of it.
Yep.
And then it gets tucked away night.
Yeah. I've made you all suffer usually in my case, because you made me suffer when I was playing something weak.
Yeah.
Now I make you suffer, and then I'll go back to playing something moderate.
Right.
But I think that we're potentially not as toxic as other people. When it comes to how we play Magic, at least.
Oh, okay. Sure. I don't want. Yeah.
Let's go.
We can't just.
No. I'm not trying to. No.
I can't just do a blanket statement like that, Rob. Like I can be pretty damn toxic about shit. I'm sure. I'm for damn sure. I'm sure there's something out there that I could be real toxic about.
So if we're going like loose rankings, Magic's about medium.
Yeah, because I think it's a balance, right?
I think you can find the toxic, but you can also find the really eager.
Yes. Yeah. The very friendly, very eager.
Because people are usually willing to try to teach you how to play.
Oh, yeah.
They might not always do it in the friendliest of ways, but they usually won't scream at you either. So there's that.
True. And then if you feel excluded when they're being nice to you, you're the toxic one. Right? That's how that works? Let's go with yes. Okay, so Pokemon is like kind of low.
Yeah.
Magic's kind of
medium.
Medium because we got both sides.
Sure.
I
can think of a toxic one. I don't know if you want to go first.
No, I'm very curious to hear what you're going to say, because I got something in mind that I think's up there, but I want to know where you're at.
So League of Legends.
That's not where I was going, but
is toxic as fuck.
Yeah.
I tried to play for a long time. And you can even get toxic in your friend group.
Oh, I'm sure.
Even if you were all nice and friendly and then somebody fucks up or steals a kill, I still have not fully forgiven you. In one of your first games you've ever played, for accidentally stealing the almost only penta I've ever had.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was like the third time I ever played the game in my life. And apparently I did something good. I killed a guy, but I did it in the wrong way because Rob was supposed to be the one to kill him.
I was one friend. No. I wasn't supposed to kill. I hit the button. The move was in frame to hit him, and you did a slightly faster move.
Get good, nerd. Is that how that works? I
think you're doing it.
Am I playing League now?
No, but there's so many things that as a newbie you can accidentally do wrong, and you will flamed.
Oh yeah.
Like trying to play ranked at all is awful.
Well, even when we played more recently, it was a couple years ago when we played again, and we matched up a group of people, and they were just like, they were being real assholes.
Oh yeah,
they were being real assholes.
Your team, the other team, it doesn't matter. And in a game where connection is everything, and sometimes it's not easy to get.
Yep.
And if yours is slightly off and you're suffering, everybody else is suffering and then furious about it.
Yeah. It's not even necessarily your fault.
No.
But it is, because you need to pay for better internet.
Yeah, how dare you use a toaster?
Right. You need to live in a place that gets good internet.
Yeah.
So if you don't already move somewhere.
Yeah, or hardwire in. Like, why are you using a laptop?
Yeah, like, what's wrong with you? Yeah, ooh, I can feel the toxicity just, ooh.
You're using what, champ?
Ooh.
You're taking what mid? How dare you? Yeah, no, there are so many, it is not easy to enter, and is not necessarily friendly once you're there.
I completely forgot about League. Again, I've played like maybe 7 total games in my life. I haven't played in
years, and it's instantly, I'm like, okay, yeah, people are angry in League.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you saying that was like, whoa, okay. Yeah, even as someone who's played, again, like less than 10 games in their entire life, I can instantly tell, there's some veracity to that statement. Let me tell you what.
I don't know if it's the most toxic. It's toxic, though, for shit and sure.
I think it's, well, I'd mentioned earlier that, like, I think a piece of what makes it toxic is the superiority, and I think that's
definitely
the big
present.
thing in League.
That's definitely present.
Is like, I am so much better than you. I am going to critique everything that you're doing.
I'm a cat main who doesn't know how to play cat, but I'm going to be real mad at you for doing nothing. Yeah.
Sure, I don't know what that means.
That's okay. No, it's good. It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, what Rob said. Same goes for me, double.
Oh, what the hell is... I don't even remember all the names of champs right now is the issue.
That's
anyway,
fine.
So that was my potential up there one.
Yeah, no, for sure. And again, I think it's, like I said, I think it's that superiority piece. I don't think it's like I don't think it's exclusivity for that one. I don't think they're trying to keep people out of the game, but maybe that's me. I don't know, depending on how
I think they are... I don't know if they are purposely, but the barrier to entry is certainly present. Like, I don't think I would have ever gotten in if it wasn't, like, a close group of friends trying to teach me.
Is that because of the game itself, though? Or is it because of the community? Because is the game itself just have a difficult barrier to entry?
Well, kind of both, though. It's free to play, so there's that.
Right.
But you only get a few free champs.
Yep.
If you want to try other things, there's definitely a lot of money grab.
Yep. Pay to win.
There's I mean, yes and no.
Pay for the better champs.
But I do appreciate that you can get them for free, if not cheaper. They've tried to make that better. Really, the thing that you end up wasting the most money on is skins.
I mean, that's just all cosmetics.
It is, but I don't know why it's so apparent there. I don't know.
You don't need to buy them.
Right.
That's not,
No, you don't. You don't.
You don't need to buy those. Right?
I've gotten flamed for not having them. This is what I'm saying. So it's a.
That's terrible.
There's a little bit of both. Terrible.
That's terrible, knuckle-headed, terrible.
So
Earn it.
A little bit of both there.
Okay, that's fair. I forget what my third one. I actually, you know what? I'm gonna refer to my notes.
What notes?
Third one.
I don't have them, by the way.
Superiority.
Only one of them has this at a time.
Entitlement. Yeah, entitlement.
Yeah, we got there.
That was ownership. Ownership of the game.
Ooh.
We haven't talked about that one a lot, but I think my next one is gonna be like put that and stick it and call it a thing.
Okay.
That was a phrase.
I mean, I got what you were saying, though.
Yeah. Good. I hope everyone else did.
Tonight's drink of choice is what I'm calling tequila afternoons. It's like a tequila sunrise, but it's just lemonade.
Rob, that's not the name of it.
Well, but
Rob, that's not the name of it.
Do you think it has a name?
Rob, I named it earlier at dinner.
No.
That's not the name of the drink.
I'm not using it.
That's not the name of the drink, Rob. Anyway, ownership over the fans feeling like they have ownership over the property.
Okay.
Harry Potter.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep. I personally feel like there is a toxic element to the Harry Potter fandom. And it touches on the fans feel like they know better what should happen with the characters than the author.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as much in like the exclusivity bit. Like I don't think they're trying to keep anyone out.
No, the barrier to entry is low, I'd say.
Yes, but I think there's definitely a superiority there as well.
I do get what you're saying. Like, oh, you've only watched the movies.
Yes.
That is present.
Yep. Instead of reading all the books, reading all of the side things, going on the website, whatever it is, and
finding your house and
yeah.
If you didn't already get introduced to Harry Potter and you were just heard people talking about Harry Potter, it might be intimidating.
Right. You know, it's like out of nowhere someone's spitting out facts about, in this part that happened in this book but wasn't actually represented in the movie, and it really screwed up this character and yada yada, and it's like I don't even remember enough about this. I read 5 of the books, I watched all the films, and I couldn't tell you a damn thing about it. About the series in general, to be honest with you. There's some dude, he's got a scar, he kills the big bad.
So I just did rewatch them all. Me and TK did.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah. And I had a good time with it. But, of course, that was just us. And
Yeah.
I don't think either of us had read it.
Okay. Not even like a...
I might have read the first one when I was real small.
Okay, fair.
I own a couple of them. I've been meaning to read them at some point, but well, it's like when you were little and you get gifted stuff. Yeah. So it's interesting you went Harry Potter because one of the first ones I thought of was Lord of the Rings.
Oh, okay. That's hard.
And so
That's hard.
The whole book first movie thing, I've heard plenty of.
That is very...
and then I've heard the whole other group saying, but you haven't even read the Silmarillion.
Silmarillion.
So, yeah, thank you. Yeah,
Silmarillion.
even the way you just said that. Yep, okay.
Yep.
Ooh, there it is.
Oh, no, Rob, no. I mean, if you're going to try to, say the name of the book, you got to say the name of the book right,
I got it out of them. All right. So
no, but I haven't read it. I want to.
I
the thing.
do also want to. I've actually heard it's pretty dry.
Oh, probably, but that's okay. I read the fucking D&D Dungeon Master's Guide. Like I read all the pages of the original Monster Manual several times. Like I just read that.
Holy shit!
Yes, I have a PDF of it. I
5e?
scroll through it. Yes.
Wow.
I have a PDF of it. I scroll through it. I read through all the stuff because I want to keep myself, refreshed, especially now.
Yeah, for when you never DM ever again.
No, I told you I want to do one-shots in this new campaign, but that's it. I don't want a full campaign because I like having stories that I could wrap up.
Man, if none of our other episodes have expressed how nerdy we can be...
Oh, this is it.
This is probably
it. Actually, that was different, slightly different. If we were to go into Lord of the Rings, we can go into Lord of the Rings if you want.
We don't have to go into it far. It was just I feel like Harry Potter was an easy transition to it.
Fair, and as you said, similar with oh, you haven't read the books, or
And unlike the Harry Potter books, which are kind of more tuned for kids, the Lord of the Rings books, as I mentioned, can be a little dry. While The Hobbit is somewhat easy reading and friendly.
Yeah.
From my understanding, the big three are a little different.
Fair. I think I have not read the Lord of the Rings books.
Same.
I want to though. Like those,
Same.
they're all ones that are on my list of I want to get through these.
Whenever I'm in a bookstore and I'm looking through books and there's always the really nice editions of the Lord of the Rings, I'm like, I like the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
That looks freaking beautiful. I would love to own and read that.
Yep.
And then I'm like, what are you doing? That's for people who have read it multiple times. That's an expensive book. Yep. I don't need it.
That's toxic. That's exclusivity.
Is it?
They're trying to keep you from buying the fancy books until I guess you are. You're being toxic to yourself as a Lord of the Rings fan, kinda. That makes sense. But no, I get that though. I think that's one that I would want to rent from a library, or borrow it from a library, and then try to get. I'd have to devote the time to get through it at that point.
See, the slight collector and somewhat hoarder in me just wants to own a nice version, to own it.
Sure, after you read it.
But that's the problem.
Right?
That's the problem.
Right.
Is that in order to read it, I'd want to own it, but I want a nice one, and then it's a never-ending circle.
Yeah.
I'm just...
Because then you find a nicer one.
I know.
And it's like, well, I could read this one now because, I got a nicer copy that I'm not going to read, and then... And then that's how you end up with 7 copies of Silmarillion.
And learn how to say it real well.
I'm probably still saying it wrong, is the thing.
Probably.
So
I'm sure an LTR fan would be able to tell you. L-O-T... Oh, I forgot the O.
A low drink.
Time to get flamed.
But Lord of the Rings is hard.
Yep.
Because it was such an inspiration for so many other nerd fandoms.
Okay. Yep.
So if we're looking at the content of the series itself, or any of these things, like if we're looking at the content, and if the content contributes to toxicity in the fandom, does the fact that Lord of the Rings has influenced everything, magic, D&D, any fantasy novel that was written afterwards, I mean, elves and orcs, like it really almost all comes back to Tolkien.
All right. Well, I don't. Well, at the same time, Lord of the Rings fan who's diehard would probably happily point that out to you in this purity sense, which is one of your little criteria there that you've mentioned.
Sure.
And this, I don't think that it's necessarily needed, right? Because something can be super influential and still have a toxic fan base.
Sure.
And I've been dancing around this one.
Oh boy, here come on now. Lay it on me.
See, because I'm part of a fandom that's a little sad at the moment. And it is part of a much larger fandom, which is definitely toxic.
Okay.
So I like Berserk a lot.
Oh boy, here it comes.
And I don't know if the Berserk fandom itself is toxic.
Okay.
The barrier to entry is a little bit difficult because finding it is tricky. There's not a lot of good media that has it. The anime, which is usually how people get into manga, is lacking. Or bad.
Lacking was a very polite way to say that, Rob.
It's limited, and some renditions are hard to watch in a physical sense. And so I don't know if the Berserk fandom is the barrier to entry might be there, but I don't know if there's a purposeful superiority. I always thought there was. Before I got into it, I was like, oh, everybody's saying that you have to read it, and watching it's not how it is.
Okay.
Which is going to get to the larger fandom in a moment.
Oh boy.
But for this instance, it's more so that the vast majority of the story is not available in a form that you can watch. So the manga is the better way to do it.
Just because it's easier to access.
It is. I don't think it is, because I just found it on some shady website and read through it all.
No, you're saying the manga's easier to access.
Well, no, the manga is easier to. You can't get it all in anime. The anime is probably easier to access.
Okay.
But you don't get the full picture.
Oh, okay.
You don't get most of the picture, really.
Gotcha.
And the picture you do get is hard to watch.
I saw a little bit of that one. That was good. That was good.
So the Berserk manga, fantastic. But.
Big butt.
There is the anime fan.
Oh, yeah, anime.
And my God.
Yeah, anime and manga, huh?
If that isn't toxic.
Oh, yeah.
People are afraid to even get close to it, which I don't think they should be. There are some good animes, there are some good mangas. Not all of it's weird hentai.
No, but some of it is.
But some of it is.
Yeah.
There's no really good way to find something to watch or read without knowing what you're going to be getting into.
The 3-episode rule.
The 3-episode rule helps for us, but then sometimes we just have morbid curiosity.
Yeah.
There's always going to be somebody telling you that the manga's better, regardless of whether it is or not.
Yep.
There's a whole rift, and it's really not much of a rift, that say you have to watch it subbed.
Oh.
Otherwise, you're not getting it properly.
Yep.
There is any number of smaller fandoms within it that all hate each other for reasons that aren't entirely clear.
Yep. People who only watch in dub hate everyone who only watches in sub for some reason. And the reverse is obviously true.
True, and more so.
Yeah. Yet people who watch X anime hate people who watch Y anime.
Yeah.
Because obvious reasons are obvious.
People who don't watch anime at all are like, I'm not watching weird Japanese porn. Also, you guys are weird.
Yeah. But that's people outside of the fan group being toxic.
But I think it contributes. Because it creates a barrier to entry on both sides. Because the fan group isn't always inviting.
Oh, God, no.
And the outside group is pretty skeptical.
Yeah. But I would argue that the barrier to entry to anime isn't too bad if you go about it the right way.
I think it was easier when we were kids.
Yeah.
Because I think Toonami was the great divide bringer, you know?
Yep.
It went and was like, hey, you guys are watching cartoons. Here are some cartoons that look a little different.
Yep.
Now you're hooked.
Yep. The animation style is a little different.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Some of the phrases and the wording sounds a little weird sometimes.
Yeah.
But
it was usually a little bit more violent or graphic than normal cartoons. Which at times was entertaining.
Pretty cool. Pretty great.
And then even from that era, we still love Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that alone is stigmatized.
Yes. Which, that doesn't make sense to me. The whole Dragon Ball franchise, they're like, how is there a stigma around
the
that?
fandom is toxic amongst the different series, too.
Sure, but yeah.
You ever try to say you like GT?
Yes, I didn't hate GT. I'm sorry. I'm going to piss everyone off. I didn't hate it. I watched a good portion of it. And, you know, I was totally fine with it. Was it as good as Z? No. But was it fine watching? It was. It was. And I'm still tiptoeing with the words I'm choosing here.
Yeah, I'm going to get flamed by you for this one. I watched it as a kid as it came out, as best I could. So I missed the Cell Saga and the Android Saga.
I know.
And people who love Dragon Ball are like, oh, you love Dragon Ball Z too. And I'm like, yeah, I just haven't seen this bit. And then... yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
I'm going to someday when I find the time.
I know.
I would like to. I know what happens.
I'm restricting right now because I don't want to be an example of toxicity in the fan base. But like...
It is weird because...
Android Saga and Cell Saga were so good. It was so good.
How can he even call himself a fan is what he wants to say.
That's not... No, I didn't. You said it, not me.
I've seen all of Dragon Ball twice.
Fair.
And having watched Dragon Ball twice, which is it's not a prequel, it was the first one.
Yeah.
People would still be like, you're not a Dragon Ball fan. But then, and I feel like it's really weird because despite there being all of the different animes, I feel like you could still group anime fans in a category and say that they as a whole are toxic.
Absolutely.
Because even most people, even me at times, who likes Dragon Ball a lot, will be like, yeah, but Dragon Ball Z is a little repetitive.
Sure. But, okay, there's a difference between
there's
critiquing the product and...
There's a strong sense of superiority amongst the anime group.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's also weird because it's probably only able to be one group in the US. Because I feel like...
Okay.
Maybe not just the US, but like if you were to go to Japan...
Oh, where's the stigma?
Yeah, there's no stigma, so it's not... It can be just more than one group. It's just...
Yeah.
The fandoms are, in fact, the different things.
Yes, the fandoms are based on the different shows.
Yep, and probably not more as toxic either. I think that the barrier in the US, because of the stigma, has allowed the fans to become toxic.
And the stigma is only because we were founded by a bunch of crazy Protestants that were, uptight and persnickety about sex and, any lewd things, and it carried through our American culture to today, and that is what prevents people from getting into anime because they fear the unknown, and they fear that it's more sexual than it actually is most of the time.
50% of the time. 25% of the time.
No, okay. Yeah, okay, your percentages are probably better. But you just gotta find the good ones.
And even again, like, you know, if it has a good plot and there's just a little bit of fan service, that's not so bad.
Right. There are some...
there's a tipping scale of fan service.
Yes. There's some that they go too far. I'm watching one right now that probably goes too far. But I enjoy it because I like the story.
Sure, that's why.
I like the story in air quotes. No. No, but I actually do. Because it's kind of like slice of life, like typical, like high school students trying to pass their exams. Like there's like a bit of like normalcy to it. And then there's just like too much fan service because it's a harem anime. So like, you know.
Which again, these are scary things for people who aren't in the fandom.
Right.
Whereas anybody who's in the anime fandoms will be like, okay, yep, there's fan service. Yep, okay, there's a harem. Okay, that's like most anime.
Right. It's but you know, we can go past that stuff because we've watched other animes. You know, we can overlook a lot of that. Not all of it. There's still a line.
There's a threshold.
Right. There's still a line. There's still a line that, you know, oh, this is not something I watch in public. Like, you know, there's a line. Everyone has a line.
And I think it's also with anime, there are some people who just watch anime.
Yeah.
There's probably enough of it out there where it's not hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I personally, at least, like a little variety in my viewing content.
Rob, is this something you want to talk about?
No, I wasn't calling you out. Did you think?
No, Rob.
I didn't even think.
No, I think you were. My brain was like, you're going somewhere that I don't know if you want to go.
I don't know what you mean.
Continue with your thought. Give me an example. Continue with your thought.
I haven't watched anime in a while. I'm still a member of the fan base.
Okay, see, our brains went very different directions right there.
Okay.
Right? So, I was still in anime mode, right? And I'm still thinking like, oh, Rob watches a variety of animes.
No.
Like that's what it sounded like you said.
This is what I meant was I think it's good to get out of anime and into other media.
Okay, I'm just saying how it came across to me. And I'm like, oh, Rob is admitting to watching a variety of different animes.
Because he's been in a lot of anime recently.
Very political way of putting it. So
no.
Again, it's fine. It's fine.
No.
There's no judgment here, Rob.
Well, I just
didn't think there was
anime. There's shonens. There's
yeah,
slice of life as you had just mentioned.
Yeah, like Kaguya-sama. Like, dude, Love is War is great. It's so good. And it's just two dumb teens who don't know that the other one loves them, but they love each other, and it's beautiful. It's great. It's just dumb, stupid kids being dumb, stupid kids. It's great.
But without having learned and got into anime young, that is not an intro anime, because it has a lot of quirks of animes.
Yeah.
That unless you are more familiar, it's like... I think there is a dub.
Is there a dub?
I probably wouldn't watch it.
I mean, I started with the sub.
Yes.
I started with the sub for 1 and 2. I'm not. You're trying to get me to do something here that I don't want to admit to. I watched the sub when I first started watching it, so I stuck with it.
Okay, see,
so I won't switch.
I almost had them. I do the same thing. It's you either. For me, if I start watching something some way, that's how I have to watch it. That is how that character sounds.
Yeah.
I can't.
There's some that I can change for, actually.
Yeah. Yes.
But most of them.
Yeah. What was it? We were watching Demon Slayer, and the dub was not good.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. I mean, the dub was just bad, so we switched over to sub, and it was just better.
Yep. See, my issue is again. So Love is War has a barrier to entry because you have to be well versed enough in it to appreciate it. You have to be well versed enough in anime to appreciate Love is War.
Yes, but I think it's still one of the easier ones.
Yeah. Potentially.
It's not Dagashi Kashi.
No.
Like,
no, I didn't even watch that.
I know.
But Kevin, that was just an ad.
I know.
You literally watched a whole series that was really just ads for Japanese snacks.
I know. I enjoyed it though. I had a good time learning about the different snacks. And it had like I think
so much weird fan service.
10 or 11 episodes. Like it wasn't. I mean, it was one season, but like you'd be surprised how many different snacks they talked about. Now that one, you don't show that one to someone the first time they're trying to get an anime because they're like, "What is this?" I didn't pay to watch the commercials.
I've made the mistake of trying to get somebody into anime on the wrong one too. I think what the actual easiest one is either Cowboy Bebop.
Okay.
Because it seems somebody kind of is okay with cartoons.
Yep.
It's got a good dub. There's not a ton of fan service.
Yep.
It doesn't have too many of the weird quirks. It is just a pretty solid story.
Okay.
Full Metal.
That's the classic.
Was going to be my other one. It's a little bit longer.
Yep.
And there's two of them.
Right. So
which also has a superiority complex.
Yes.
If you don't get into it too much and you just show them one, then you're probably okay there.
Yep. I have not watched Brotherhood still.
Yep. And I have watched Brotherhood, and I still really enjoy the first. I enjoy them both, but I get that the Brotherhood is more similar to the anime, to the manga, and whatever. But I thought the twist at the end of the first one was good. But in that respect, there's barrier to entry.
Yeah. Here's my brain going, right?
Yeah. Hamster wheel turning.
What if we do something that is a quote-unquote classic American cartoon that is similarly animated to the Japanese style? And then we use that as a jumping point. So, like, I think of, I mean, I like this guy. I think he's cool. We've talked about it before. Gendy Tartakovsky, the guy who is the animator behind Clone Wars and Samurai Jack, and that new one on FX, Primal, I think.
Okay.
He's like the main animator behind those.
Mm-hmm.
I think of those as like American cartoons, but they are kind of a step towards anime. More so than something like a Dexter's Lab or like our kid or SpongeBob. Like they're a step closer.
What if we go to like He-Man?
Ooh, okay.
Because if you're going American classic, right? Because personally, I didn't watch Clone Wars as a kid. I went back to try to watch it.
It'd be Thundercats for me, but
or Transformers.
Okay. Well, yeah, Transformers is just Gundam.
Yeah. Transformers, straight up just Gundam.
Yeah, I never got into Gundam. I thought it was kind of boring.
Some Gundams I like. Well, okay, Gundam the show or Gundam as a genre is also...
Yeah, okay,
Anyway,
right.
Not to do that.
Right. Actually.
Ooh, next time on...
Actually, yeah, but probably though?
Yeah. Next time on Any Given Thursday... I get to rip into Kevin.
Goku is still yelling at Frieza. He's halfway to going Super Saiyan now. Three episodes from now, he might get there.
If it was Super Saiyan 3, it'd probably be about 6 episodes from now.
Yep. Anyways, you made it. Thank you for listening. I don't know how you did it. We've just rambled on about different things that we like for... like almost an hour, which is, but we also shout on them a bit, change it up a little, and some of them we don't even like.
No, and there's gonna be. I'm letting you know for once. This is a to be continued.
Oh, let's go!
And next time we'll be angrier.
Hell yeah! It will piss off more people.
Definitely.
That was my goal. We got some people mad. We've succeeded. Oh well. Love you.